Nobody's coming to save you. It's just you. I know we wish the knight in shining armor, ladies, would come up and save you and take you away from your miseries and the pain and the hurt and all the stuff. And that's not going to happen. I know, guys, we think, right, we're going to get granted the three wishes and, right, everything that we want is going to happen. It's not the way it goes. No one's coming to save you, no one's coming to help. We're blessed. We're blessed that we get a chance to be in some form of a community here where we can even talk good things, where we can plant good seeds, where we can make sure that like we're supporting each other. But you get back out there in the world, y'all know this. There's not many people supporting. There's not many people pushing you and nudging you and saying, "Hey, you can do it and I believe in you and you're going to make great decisions and we're so proud of you." There's not a lot of people out there doing that. So you got to do that for yourself. No one's coming to save you. No one's coming to take this burden away from you. Like you have to do it. Once we understand that message, I know it's sometimes hard to take that responsibility and say it in that way. But once you do, your life opens up. Once you have that entrepreneurial mindset that says, if it is to be, it's up to me. If anything is going to happen, it's got to be up to me. I'm going to pray like it's up to God. I'm going to work like it's up to me. I'm not going to rely on anyone else, anything else to come try to get me out of this situation, to change my health, to change my finances, to give me better relationships, to help me grow spiritually. Like if it is to be, it's up to me. I got to make it happen. That's a powerful statement, but you got to remind yourself that all the time. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody's coming. So if you don't do it, it's not going to happen. The best part is you can do it. Like it's possible for you to do it. How? We talk about it all the time. You change your thinking, you change your life. That's the how. If you change your beliefs, if you change how you think about something, if you change who you believe you are, none of you on this call that are heading to the life you don't need a break from, none of you out of your mouth should say that's who I am. That's just the way I am. No, you're not that way. You're conditioned to be that way. You've learned to be that way, and you can change that. You can change who you are. That's how we get to the life we don't need a break from, is because you're changing the person that you are. But you got to know, you got to take this responsibility on. You got to spend some time with yourself to know that no one's coming. If it is to be, it's up to me. 177 mental toughness secrets of the world class. Jay Shetty and a couple people towards the end of that video used the word solitude, to sit with oneself. Solitude. How often are we seeking solitude in our life? In this noisy world, we're constantly being bombarded with thoughts, with people. We can sit on our phone and look at thousands of images in the matter of minutes. We're bombarded with all these types of things. When do we seek solitude? Like Jay Shetty said, it's not loneliness. It's not a matter of being lonely. It's a matter of seeking solitude to be with oneself, to learn who you are, to understand how you operate, to take time to figure out what you need, to give yourself a strategy, give yourself a game plan, sit with your own thoughts. This is hard for a lot of people. So if it's hard for you, it's okay. This is an area that you got to grow. But you got to be able to sit with yourself. No TV, no music, no phone, no social media, no other people around you. Like be with yourself. And if you do that, you start to learn yourself. You start to become more comfortable with yourself. And because you understand that this game is a you versus you thing, the way you get to your ideal life is you fighting you. It's not fighting the circumstances. You're not fighting your job or your boss or your environment or your parents or your kids, or you're not fighting any of that stuff. You're not fighting the the McDonald's, you know. Again, I just came off of this 21-day sugar detox, but the amount of people that blame like the fast food restaurant as to the reason why they stopped there. It's like, oh, they put it on this corner. They make it smell so good. They do all this, right? Just not taking accountability for what they're consuming. Well, we have to do that in every single area, y'all. We got to like take accountability for the reasons why we are where we are. And one of the things that will help you is if you continue to seek solitude, continue to push past it, right? That is the key. Thanks for asking. My sugar detox was great, by the way. Uh, we're on the other side of it now, so it's good. Here's what it says in the text, y'all. It says the great ones seek solitude. It says the masses don't need to be overly concerned about rest and recovery because they're not pushing themselves much beyond the typical routines of everyday life. The average American watches 1,669 hours of television per year. This activity is more of an escape than a recovery strategy. Most champions are aware that due to their emotional nature, human beings need recovery strategies if they are going to be at their best day in and day out. One of the most popular among champions is solitude. Again, one of the most popular among champions is solitude. The simple act of getting away and getting quiet creates more space between their thoughts and helps them escape the bondage of excessive cognition. When it comes to getting big results, average performers often believe working harder and longer is the answer. Champions often cut back from traditional work time to allow their creative mind to operate at a greater capacity. This working smarter strategy blends in beautifully in the 21st century, which is quickly becoming known as the age of the mind. Many of the world's highest paid people are able to tap into vast resources of their creative minds and produce products and services that solve the problems of the masses. This level of creative thought requires significant intellectual energy, which must be followed by intellectual rest and recovery. The great ones know the power of a quiet mind, and many invest time in solitude on a regular basis. They recognize the performance value of a rested mind, body, and spirit. How much do you invest time in solitude? This is something you should ask yourself. In this noisy world where things are constantly buzzing and going off and notifications on your phone and all these distractions, how intentional are you about creating distance between the noise and your actual thoughts in your brain? Like, how often are you being conscious of the fact that you need to separate yourself, to isolate yourself, to get to a place of solitude, to let your mind rest? Whether it was earlier this week or last week, I know we went into the rest and recovery cycle. We said champions do a great job of their rest and recovery cycles, knowing how to not burn out, how to not burn the candle at both ends, and then get to a place where you're so burnt out where you need a month to recover, you need 2 months to recover, you can't do something for 6 months because we were burning out. And then learning how to give ourselves that every single day. Give yourself self-care every single day, not just once every 2 weeks. It's every day you give yourself time to recover, to renew your life. That's what they said recovery is. It's the renewal of life and the renewal of energy. So how intentional are you with that side? And this just really kind of piggybacks on that, where it's okay, how intentional are you being about solitude, which is the rest and recovery of your brain, of like your intellectual thoughts, of your creativity. You know, when people say like, "Oh, I can't. It's hard for me to think about this stuff," or it's hard for me to be creative, or it's probably because we're not sitting with ourselves long enough on a day-to-day basis. We're not spending time to actually tap in to the man or woman that we are right now, what our thoughts are. But again, ladies and gentlemen, if you can take this on as a habit, if you can take on practicing solitude as a habit, as something that you put into your daily, weekly schedule, that you need time for yourself, is where I started this call in. I said, hey, that morning routine, you need 20, 30 minutes to yourself. You want the extra credit, like Ron said, we want the extra credit. You come back and then you look at the last 20, 30 minutes of your night. That's solitude. That's finding 40 minutes to an hour of solitude every single day. That's upwards of 7 hours of solitude a week, of you just being with yourself, of you just analyzing your thoughts, of you, what they call metacognition, thinking about what you're thinking about. How often do you take time to think about what you're thinking about? That's the power of meditation. If any of you meditate, the power of meditation is a calm mind. It's to be able to take your mind and calm it to thinking of one thing, typically your breath, could be a sound, but that's a skill. That's something you practice. That's why people that don't meditate often, they're like, I can never sit down and be still and my brain, and I start thinking about this and that. It's because they don't know how to quiet their mind yet. They haven't sought solitude. They haven't sat down just to say, let me focus on my breath, inhaling and exhaling, no other thoughts. Well, that's a practice. That's a habit. That's something you put into place. It doesn't just come to you. No one's coming to save you, right? It doesn't just fall on you. Like you have to practice how to be with yourself. No better day to start than today. It's Friday. It's the week. It's headed into the weekend. Some of you are going to have similar plans for Saturday and Sunday. Some of you got some different plans. I know Mother's Day is coming up, right? Whatever you have, I would challenge you and encourage you to take some time with yourself this weekend. Take some time with yourself tonight. Take some time to yourself tomorrow morning. Like you can't constantly be running with distractions and noise and then expect yourself to get to the life that you deserve. All the other things are going to take you away from it. How do you combat that? How do you fight that? Inside of yourself, it's by spending time with yourself. It's taking time every day to connect with you, to think about what you're thinking about, to give yourself a different strategy, to tell yourself, hey, I'm going to do this, to give yourself a little bit motivation, a little bit of a push, some inspiration. Again, the message of that video of no one's coming to save you is you have to save yourself, meaning you have to do what you need to do. I'm grateful for all of you that I get a chance to plant these seeds on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm grateful that I get a chance to share this stuff with you and plant the seed, but I know I'm not with you 24/7. So what do you do outside of these calls, outside of this hour to hour and a half that you show up? What else are you able to do to tap into yourself, to spend time with yourself? Who motivates the motivator? How could I come and give you inspiration and motivation if I didn't already possess some of these things? If I didn't seek solitude for myself, if I didn't stay in my own head, if I didn't get time to understand where I'm at and think about my thoughts, it would be really difficult to consistently show up and do this. Well, that's what I'm asking of you guys is if you're just receiving these, that's fine. Now go start to put this in practice. Start seeking some time with yourself. Start changing the way that you think. Start by first identifying, thinking about what you're thinking about, and then figuring out what needs to change, what tweaks need to happen. Where do I have some stinking thinking? Where do I have some thoughts that aren't serving me? Where do I have some things that I had in the past that now aren't going to help me get to my future? You need to spend time with yourself to identify that stuff. You don't spend time with yourself, you'll never know. You'll think it's one thing and it's really a whole different thing. You'll assume that it's because of, some way that somebody treated you when really it came back from you being a child and something happening then. If you don't sit with yourself, you never figure this stuff out, y'all. But that's my challenge for you. Don't let every day go by just doing the same things. Don't let this weekend go by and you're just doing in the same routine, same Saturday thing, sleeping a little bit later, do the church thing Sunday. Like, don't just keep doing the same stuff. Start to carve out time for the things you know you're going to need in order to get to the life that you want. Here's what it says in this quote. It says, periods of wholesome laziness after days of energetic effort will wonderfully tone up the mind and body. It does not involve loss of time, since after a day of complete rest and quietness, you will return to your regular occupation with renewed interest and vigor. Periods of wholesome laziness, that's the rest and recovery. That's the solitude part. If you give a bunch of energy, especially mental energy, intellectual energy, you're always thinking, you're always on the go, you're always solving people's problems, you're always helping people out, you're always making stuff happen at the job, like you're always doing, taking a period of, like it says here, wholesome laziness, it's going to tone up your mind. Remember, I told y'all last month, coming through the sugar detox, doing some extra workouts, the gap between the 30th and like the 5th, that weekend, that Thursday through Sunday, our health coach was like, hey, let your body rest. If you've just been training for this whole month, take these 4 days, let your body catch up, let it rest, let it recover. Because he knows that's best for the body. It's not just to keep doing all the work. It's to like, you did a bunch of work and now you let your body rest. That same thing for your mind. Your mind's a muscle, just like your body is. So think of how much activity is happening in your mind. Think of how much your mind has been working. Think of how many things you've had to think through and how many challenges and the stresses and the adversities and the problem solving and the money things and what you got to do at work and your relationships. Like, think of all the ways your mind has to constantly go. And no wonder why we get to a place where we're burnt out, where we don't feel like we're have the capacity, where we're emotionally, mentally, spiritually drained from doing things because we never gave our mind some rest. And again, what we think is rest. Rest is not watching the TV. Rest is not scrolling through social media. That's not resting your brain. Your brain is still getting a bunch of images. It's still firing. What allows it to get rest is solitude. Is you take 20 minutes with no other external anything. Just 20 minutes with yourself. Go stand outside. Again, I'm blessed I can look at the trees. I'm in the woods a bit, so I can go outside and be in nature and listen to the birds and where I look at the trees and those things are great. Maybe you can just walk outside and take a walk and not have any things in your ear. Just be in your thoughts. Be around people, but be with yourself. Maybe that's something you need to practice. Again, I don't know where you are, but I know these are the things that allow us to separate ourselves from just the average person to people that want to do great things, that want to go off and design their ideal life. These are the things you got to go out and practice. The action step for today says, just for today, carve out at least 20 minutes of your work day to get away from everyone and get quiet. Practice this over this weekend. Just take 20, 30 minutes just to get quiet with yourself. Nothing else, nobody else, no other distractions, and see where your thoughts go. If it's hard for you, good. That's an indication that this is something you need to work on. It should be hard if you don't practice it, but the more you practice, the easier it gets. And then you'll seek that time out. You'll want that time with yourself because it's the only time you get real peace, real quiet, because you get to be with yourself. And you have to enjoy being with yourself. Like that guy said in the video, he enjoys spending time with himself, hours on end. That has to be you if you want to go off and design this ideal life. Because you heard it also in the video, the road can get a little lonely if you think of it that way. It's just you. No one's coming to save you. So you have to be okay to sit with yourself. Do this weekend because it pushes you out of your comfort zone. Do something that allows you to just seek some solitude, to sit with yourself this weekend. And let this be the beginning, the seeds planted to help you continue to design that ideal life, y'all. All right. I love you guys. I want you to win. You deserve it. Your families deserve it. If no one ever tells you, I will always tell you because I'm in your corner. I want you to go make this happen. And it takes work. It's not just going to fall on you. It's not just going to happen. It takes work. It takes intentionality. It takes you really paying attention to what your thoughts are. It takes you really paying attention to what your habits are and then actively every single day working to change them. 1% better, one step in front of each other, like every single day, just constant. You pick your head up 2 years, you're going to be a completely different man or woman. And that's what you need to do in order to go off and design this ideal life, y'all. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll be right back here on Monday. Happy Mother's Day early to all you mothers that are on the call. I'll see you guys back here on Monday. Take care.